Okay, we're back for quiz 38. Didn't think we are going to get one this week, but I was able to squeeze one in for the last day of the week. Right, the big shout-outs and the scores from last week. Stevie and Rita topped it with 29. Billy was 28. And Jean and Davey also got a 28, which is good. So they were a joint second. John and Dawn got a 21. Caroline and Brian got a 20. Josie and Bill got a 21. And Andre, I didn't get Andre a score. He'll be up in the early 20s too. Right, some high scores last week. They're all doing well. Okay, 38, quiz number 38, question 1. In the book Charlotte's Web, what kind of an animal is Wilbur? Okay, in the book Charlotte's Web, what kind of an animal is Wilbur? Number 2. What's the national flower of Wales? What is the national flower of Wales? And number 3. What's the state capital of Kansas? What is the state capital of Kansas? Here's a tough one here. Came across this the other week, and that's a tough one. Like when you get the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question and the last couple of questions. The largest collection of Leonardo da Vinci drawings in the world is housed where in Great Britain? Okay, the largest collection of Leonardo da Vinci drawings in the world is housed where in Great Britain? Number 5. In 1996, who became Angelina Jolie's first husband? Okay, in 1986, who became Angelina Jolie's first husband? Number 6. A diluted layer of watercolour spread on a painting is known as what? A diluted layer of watercolour spread on a painting is known as a what? And number 7, bit of a history one here. Who was the British Prime Minister during the general strike? Okay. Who was the British Prime Minister during the general strike? It's way back in the day now. So, and the last question in this round. Which English town is famous for its mint cake? Which English town is famous for its mint cake? Oh, you're putting away for giving you the answers. Okay, if you want to pause it or rewind on some of them, I'm going to give you the answers. In the book Charlotte's Web, what kind of animal is Wilbur? A pig. And what's the national flower of Wales? Daffodil. And the state capital of Kansas? Topeka. The largest collection of Leonardo da Vinci drawings in the world is housed in Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle. In 1986, who became Angelina Jolie's first husband? Johnny Lee Miller. Okay, it was Johnny Lee Miller. And a diluted layer of watercolour spread on a painting is known as what? A wash. And who was the British Prime Minister during the general strike? Stanley Baldwin. And which English town is famous for its mint cake? Kendal. Okay, all them scores up. We're going to go on to round 2. Okay, number 1. Which Victorian writer famously wrote his book of nonsense? Which Victorian writer famously wrote his book of nonsense? And number 2. Which scientist is credited with inventing the first true battery? Okay, so which scientist is credited with inventing the first true battery? Number 3. Which company introduced the first personal stereo? Okay, it's one that you walk about with. Which company introduced the first personal stereo? Okay, and number 4, dried plums are generally referred to by what name? Dried plums are generally referred to by what name? And number 5, the Supremes only had one British #1 hit. What was it? The Supremes only had one British #1 hit. What was it called? Number 6. On which country's national flag is there an eagle on a snake? On which country's national flag is there an eagle on a snake? Here's a wee tough one. You can guess it. In which decade did windscreen wipers first appear on UK cars? On which decade did windscreen wipers first appear on UK cars? And the final question in round 2. Who had a hit in 1979 with "If I Said You Had a Beautiful Body, Would You Hold It Against Me"? Okay, who had a hit in 1979 with the song "If I Said You Had a Beautiful Body, Would You Hold It Against Me"? Okay, going to give you the answers here, so you want to pause it and go back on some of them. So here is the answers. Which Victorian writer famously wrote his book of nonsense? It wasn't, I always thought it would have been year 1. What do you call him? Alice in Wonderland. What do you call him? You know what I mean? Oh, mine's blank. It was Edward Lear. It wasn't the other guy. It was Edward Lear. The Owl and the Pussycat guy. And which scientist is credited with inventing the first true battery? Alexandro Volta. And which company introduced the first personal stereo? The Sony Walkman. Sony. And dried plums are generally referred to by what name? Prunes. And the Supremes only had one British #1 hit. What was it? Baby Love. On which country's national flag is there an eagle on a snake? Mexico. In which decade did windscreen wipers first appear on UK cars? It was the 1920s. And who had a hit in 1979 with "If I Said You Had a Beautiful Body, Would You Hold It Against Me"? It was the Bellamy Brothers. Okay, up on scores there. I'm hoping you're in the low teens, maybe 13 or something. Right. Well, I know Stevie and Rita will get that one. The first one. Andre. I don't know if Josie and Bill get this. This is we geography one. Varna is a popular tourist attraction in which country? Varna is a popular tourist attraction in which country? Varna. Varna. Number 2. In January 2020, who changed their Twitter name to Sharon following a wrong answer on a UK quiz show? Okay, in January 2020, who changed their Twitter name to Sharon following a wrong answer on a UK quiz show? And number 3, what was the name of the only brother of the Bronte sisters? What was the name of the only brother of the Bronte sisters? And number 4, Jeffrey Hayes was the long-time presenter on which children's TV show? Jeffrey Hayes was the long-time presenter on which children's TV show? And number 5, which country is identified by the internet domain abbreviation CH? I'm nearly sure it's on their number plates as well. So which country is identified by the internet domain abbreviation CH? Alright, we geography sort of one. China comes first. India, then the USA are the top 3 countries with the highest population. Okay, so China, India, USA, Who comes next? Who's the next highest population? Which country has the next highest population? And number 7, how many of Henry VIII's wives outlived him? How many of Henry VIII's wives outlived him? Okay, I'm going to give you this next one. The nearest 20, you've got 25 LRY. I'll give you a 25 LRY. How many gold medals did the USA win at the 1980 Moscow Olympics? How many gold medals did the USA win at the 1980 Moscow Olympics? You've 25 LRY. Okay, pause it, and I'm going to give you the answers. I'd be surprised if Frida didn't get this one, Stevie. Varna, been on it many's a time. Varna is a popular tourist attraction in which country? Bulgaria. In January 2020, who changed their Twitter name to Sharon following a wrong answer on a UK quiz show? It was Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg. And number 3, what's the name of the only brother of the Bronte sisters? It's Bramwell. Bramwell. And Jeffrey Hayes was a long-time presenter of which children's TV show? Rainbow. And which country is identified by the internet domain abbreviation CH? Switzerland. China, India and the USA are the top 3 countries with the highest population. Who comes next? It's not Brazil. It's Indonesia. Indonesia. Number 7, how many of Henry VIII's wives outlived him? 2. Catherine Parr and one of the other ones. And number 8, how many gold medals did the USA win at the 1980 Moscow Olympics? Got 25 on our side. So if you've wrote minus 25 or 25, you'll get the point. They didn't win any. It was, they boycotted it. They weren't even there. They boycotted it. Right, all your scores up. And we're going to go on to round 4. What's it, 10? 12 for hour and 10. No connection around this week because I've been busy doing things and I didn't get the connection thing. Nothing came to me this week. It was just too busy. I think my brain's somewhere else. Here's a tough one. Because it was only a year, you probably didn't even know it was away. Which bar did Nestle discontinue in 2007, but reintroduced it again in 2008? So one of their chocolatey type biscuity bars, they discontinued it in 2007, but a year later they brought it back again. What was it called? And here's one here. In a 2020 poll, who was voted Britain's favourite detective? It was commissioned by ITV. So in a 2020 poll, who was voted Britain's favourite detective? Okay, which European country has the most World Heritage sites? I think China has the most in the world, China. But who in Europe, which country has the most World Heritage sites? Right, number 4. The bark of which tree led to the discovery of aspirin? The bark of which tree led to the discovery of aspirin? Number 5. What is a reception with the Pope called? What is a reception with the Pope called? Times it 15 here. And number 6. In 2007, who reached number 1 with the single Grace Kelly? Okay. In 2007, who reached number 1 with the single Grace Kelly? Number 7. Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning monarch in the UK here, beating Queen Victoria in the 2nd place. But who held that record before Queen Victoria? Okay, so Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning British monarch, beating Queen Victoria in the second. But who held the record before Queen Victoria? It's a wee tough one. And number 8. Where is Daphne du Maurier's novel Jamaica Inn set? Okay, where is Daphne du Maurier's novel Jamaica Inn set? Okay, if you want to pause them, go over some of them questions, I want to rewind it back, I'm going to give you the answers. Which bar did Nestle discontinue in 2007 but reintroduced it again in 2008? It was a Drifter. I didn't even know it had gone. It's a Drifter. In a 2020 poll, who was voted Britain's favourite detective? Well, I got that wrong. I went for Columbo, and it wasn't. It was Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes was voted Britain's favourite detective. And number 3, which European country has the most World Heritage Sites? Italy. Italy. And the bark of which tree led to the discovery of aspirin? The willow tree. And what is a reception with the Pope called? An audience. And in 2007, who reached number 1 with the single Grace Kelly? Mika. And Queen Elizabeth II is Britain's longest reigning monarch, beating Queen Victoria in the second place. But who held the record before Queen Victoria? It was George III. George III. And where is Daphne du Maurier's novel Jamaica Inn set? Now, I'm not looking at the UK. I'm looking at space, so I hope you just haven't looked at the UK. It was Cornwall. Cornwall. It's going to be film. I watched the old black and white version. Was it George Houghton or something? I watched the old black and white version about a year ago and I thought it was good. It's the first time I've seen it. Right. It's the last round. With the time, coming up to 18, we're just on averaging the time. A wee bit quicker this week because there's no connection. The connection may be a wee bit longer. Number 1, in the film Casablanca, when Lisa asks Sam to play it again, what song does she want played? In the film Casablanca, when Lisa asks Sam to play it again, what song does she want played? Number 2, these mammals are sometimes called sea cows. What are their real name? Okay, these animals are sometimes called sea cows. What are their real name? I think Stevie will get that one. Okay, number 3, who painted the painting called The Kiss? Who painted the painting called The Kiss? Okay, number 4, the youngest ever Nobel Prize winner, Malala Yousafzai. I've probably said that wrong. It's Malala, M-A-L-A-L-A, Malala Yousafzai has been a strong campaigner on which issue? Okay, she's been in the news a lot. Youngest ever Nobel Prize winner, Malala Yousafzai has been a strong campaigner on which issue? And number 5, which Oscar winner played Hawkeye in the 1992 version of The Last of the Mohicans? Which Oscar winner played Hawkeye in the 1992 version of The Last of the Mohicans? Here's a tough one too. Which Ford car, number 6, which Ford car model was last produced in 1967 and was replaced by the Ford Escort? Which Ford car model was last produced in 1967 and was replaced by the Ford Escort? Time 20 minutes. On the last day, number 7, on the last day of 2019, China informed the World Health Organization of a cluster of pneumonia cases of unknown cause. In which city? Okay. On the last day of 2019, China informed the World Health Organization of a cluster of pneumonia cases of unknown cause. In which city? Only 2 years ago. Right, here's a tough one here. Some of the football fans might get this. Which football club is linked to the career of Tom Finney? Which football club is linked to the career of Tom Finney? Right. That was the last question of quiz 38. So I want to pause it and I'm going to go around and give you the answers. In the film Casablanca, when Lisa asks Sam to play it again, what song does she want played? As time goes by. As time goes by. And these animals are sometimes called sea cows. What are their real name? Manatees. And who painted the painting called The Kiss? Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt. And the youngest ever Nobel Prize winner, Malala Yousafzai, has been a strong campaigner in which issue? Female education. That's a wee girl from, was it Iraq or Iran or somewhere? She got shot. Remember, she got shot, and there's a wee school girl, and she came, because she was going to school or somewhere, and then she was hit with a bullet in the head or something, and they bring her back, and then she's campaigning for female education. It's on the news a couple of years ago. Which Oscar winner played Hawkeye in the 1992 version of The Last of the Mohicans? Daniel Day-Lewis. And which Ford car model? That's still going on. And which Ford car model was last produced in 1967 and was replaced by the Ford Escort? That was the Ford Anglia. And on the last day of 2019, China informed the World Health Organization of a cluster of pneumonia cases of unknown cause. In which city? Wuhan. Wuhan. And the last one, which football club is linked to the career of Tom Finney? It's Preston. Preston North End. Preston. Okay, I'll get them scores up and let me know how you got on. And enjoy your weekend. This is Friday. Have a good weekend and I'll see you again, hopefully, very soon.